someone to know that they are surviving, not suffering, with medical hair loss. Because it's a struggle and a fight. But when you can relate to someone, PT was hard. When I had on wigs and I'm trying to hide stuff that the doctors were ignoring, getting out, not understanding this, they're spending thousands of dollars a year to try to feel beautiful. I'm always, I feel beautiful.
She Served Sheroes community. We are so excited today to bring you our good sis, our battle in arms, one of the people that we are just so happy about the trail that she is blazing. We have Major Taunya Ford in the building of Revived Beauty. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are so excited to get into everything. We see your whole studio behind you, and we definitely want to get into that. But we always like to start with the same question with everyone. What made you sign the dotted line? How did your military journey begin?
Wow, so I'm gonna go back in time with the Uncle Sam commercials. Okay. And Be All You Can Be. I came up in the Be All You Can Be Army. I am a military brat. And so that's how we traveled the world. And I had a tie to my stepfather with helping him shine his boots, prepping him for a field. He was a combat engineer, hoping he would bring me home some MREs. Now, I'm the oldest girl of 5, and I have 2 brothers that served in the Air Force, and then I'm the only Army girl, and my other 2 sisters like, nah, we good. But I would get excited about packing my dad's bags. And living in Bamberg, Germany, watching different commercials and getting excited. And people are like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? When they're asking kids or teenagers, all the way up through UNLV, University of Las Vegas running Rebels. If somebody interviewed me and said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like a no-limit soldier. It flowed so nicely. Yeah. And what my parents had showed us with being a military family and traveling the world, and my mom being so supportive to my dad, and I only saw it from a male perspective. Okay. I saw like onesies and twosies as a child. I didn't see women. I saw that's what my dad did. That's what my friend's dad did. And then the spouses were supportive. They had careers, but they were the homekeeper. And that didn't do nothing for me. I wanted to play with G.I. Joes. I wanted to maneuver in the mud. I was a tomboy, kept it pretty, kept it female. But if they were like, hey, let's go out here and go Fort Benning, Georgia, let's go see what's in the woods. Take me. And so watching my stepfather and watching other men and then coming across a woman here and there, I was like, I want to be like her. Like I can do that. Not knocking spouses. They're needed. I love it. Right. But I didn't find a tie. I was like, I didn't grow up wanting, oh, I just want a wedding. Oh, I just want to have children. I just wanted to be a no-limit soldier. I wanted to be a GI. I wanted to go away and come home with dirty boots and uniform and be greeted when I come in the door and talk about a mission that was accomplished. And I was an athlete all my life. And so I just resonated with the team concept, the family team, the mission, the train early. And then I was like, yeah, why not? And even in college, after transferring 7 times. Don't judge me. I graduated in Las Vegas.
Okay.
It came close to graduation and I didn't feel complete. And so went into a recruiting station. It was like, hey, what you got for me? And it took 7 times to pass the ASVAB to a score that was something I liked.
Okay.
Many people call that a Cat 4, like special academic needs. Yeah, but by the time I finished on a high level. And I was like, I want to be a food inspector. Thank you to Deliver Us from Eva. I don't know if you
Right? I love that movie.
I was like, yeah. And so in the research, during a time we didn't have the internet, when you actually had to get a course catalog and a book and go to the library, I was just amazed by soldiers and airmen and Navy and the Coast Guard. And it blew my mind and it made me feel complete. And so after that, an interview by the Rebel Yell, when they were going around asking people on campus, oh, what you gonna do after graduation? What you wanna be? When I spoke it and like said it that time, I was like, oh, that's going down on paper. And a friend, when they printed it, it's like, hey, LT, you're in it. I was like, let's do it. And so feeling complete, the concept of team and signing the dotted line. And then probably also the journey of getting there. I mean,
so what was that like, the journey of getting there?
I kept failing.
Oh, right, but we got there.
Yes. And so I used to make a joke being an athlete that I wasn't a student athlete. I was an athlete student. So I believe in the concept of team and like, if you can't, I don't know all the answers. Yeah. But that's why I got someone playing down low, or that's why I hand the baton off, or, that's why I do that. And the Army was all of that to me, right? It was like, no, you're not going to know everything, but you're going to be you're going to be a part of a team that can take care of everybody else because your role matters. And so it may have took me a lot of times and I was going to quit, but prayer and faith kept moving me and saying, no, don't give up. And no, you can make it. And seeing the team concept and understanding what veterans did. And even when you're wearing a different uniform, but you're a veteran serving your country, that Navy Army jokes, right? You're still on the same team,
right?
Kind of a competition. So coming from a military family, my mom showing me many successful individuals at all levels, I didn't resonate. I was like, oh, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a judge. I was like, but if I do it, I want to only do it in the military. And so the ties of growing up that way and the ties of seeing at that time in my life successful men, I wanted to give me somebody to look at. When I did see them, I didn't see Black women.
Right.
I didn't see minority women. I'm learning of people that are, they're top notch. They don't have a struggle getting anywhere. I'm meeting women that graduate from the Air Force Academy and Naval Academy and West Point. And I'm like, I ain't on that level, but I want to serve. And I learned that in doing that, you can have different academic levels and you can have different drives and still support the same mission.
Yes.
And so service and community service and tying and family, sisterhood, brotherhood is what attracted me, because we can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can do something, but I felt like I could be a part of something even larger. So if I'm going to do any of that, how do I do it and give little Taunya what she needed to see? How do you give young minority women that may struggle academically? Funny thing, I sit here with 2 master's degrees, because master's degree is different from undergrad. But I wanted to be a part of that large picture and
And you
relate
know what?
to.
I just thank you so much for your transparency and sharing that too, so that someone that does go in, take the ASVAB, and they don't have the score that they need or want, you know, that person can now not be discouraged. Go back, hit it again. I mean, you came in as a commissioned officer, you're accomplished. And like I said, like you just said, you have 2 master's degrees. So you're very accomplished. And it's just that tenacity and that willingness to keep pushing. I didn't get the answer I wanted at first. I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah.
So
Private Ford gave them a run for their money. I'm sure every time I showed up, my recruiter was like, oh, hey, it's been 30 days. It's been 60 days. Yes. Come back next year, bet. Then the irony is I was a recruiting company commander and then a recruiting battalion executive officer. So my recruiters were like, hey man, can you talk to someone? She failed the test or he failed the test. Can you talk to him? I'm like,
yeah.
you want to see what happens when you don't give up?
Yeah.
In the Army, if you score higher than 20 points, when you retake it, the executive officer has to investigate, has to have a conversation with you, right? By regulation. And so I was on the other side of that before, trying to get in, and someone's like, you barely got this, now you got this score, talk to me. And so I hit him. It was real. It was personal. It was, thank you for trying again. And look, when you get promoted, holla at a player. I will fly in to promote you. And I've done a couple of those. And they're like, awesome. I would have given up. And so to go from barely getting in to being the poster child, you know, being an executive officer in recruiting for Denver Battalion, working as a company commander in recruiting in Houston, loving every day of it. Yeah. They're like, you like this? If you knew how hard it was for me to get here. I volunteered to do this. And so it was an honor because I felt like it was written for me. Yeah. I didn't want to do other things. People were like, oh my God, I don't want to go to recruiting command. Ask me to come back right now. You can have my retirement. What's up? And I enjoyed every day of it, from talking to young little girls, 8th grade, to talking to teachers and college instructors saying, you ever thought about joining the Army? Have you ever thought? I could tell you the benefits. Right. And enlisting some of those that were doubters and didn't believe in military service. But when they saw someone up close, recent, and personal, they were like, oh, I never looked at it from that perspective. Because people fail to look at the military as top-notch 1%, 2% that we are. And they look at it as, oh, she failed, you're not doing well, you should go to a recruiter. You're probably not qualified to be on my team. And so to change the perspective and use a celebration of what it is and what people give and sign on the dotted line to do, it was an honor and a pleasure to be able to walk into schools or restaurants, talk to people like this, and be like, yeah, be all you can be, Army strong, Army of one, all of it. All of it. And believe in it. And so I felt that way, 10, 12 years old, signing my dad's boots. And so it was awesome. An honor when I got to shine my own.
So how long did you serve? And then what was your transition out of the military like? Because we know now, from a child, this is what you wanted to do. So once you completed that mission, what was that like once you left the military?
Heartbreaking. It led to 5 years of chronic depression. It led to thoughts of suicide. I had to leave because I was diagnosed with lupus. Okay. If you're allergic to the sun, you can't remain in the military. Well, for years, a girl that's been in Afghanistan, Qatar, El Paso, live in Texas, graduated from UNLV, had a whole lot of sun in my life, right? So this girl was not thinking I'm allergic to the sun. I cruise, I travel, I wear 2-piece swimsuits, but I kept coming back with 2nd and 3rd degree sunburn.
Mm.
And so during a year when I had hit chronic depression, I was put in, and I thank God for it, the Wounded Warriors Transition Unit.
Okay.
It was the second time. The first time was when I was injured in Afghanistan. I came back, asked them to check me out, let me go. I got to get back to this Army thing. But this time when I went, it was because I had an amazing brigade psychologist. And unbeknownst to me, every time someone said you were okay, I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And kept trying to find out what was wrong with me, unknowing that I had lupus.
Okay.
Unknowing that I was epileptic. I had, in that year, I had 7 car accidents. Not remembering them, not found at fault, but just I was telling my doctors, I'm having brain fog. I don't know what's going on sometimes. Sometimes I get in the car and I think I'm going somewhere and I end up back at work. I'm going to my son's track meet in Houston and end up in Dallas. I was like, what's going on? So I had a brigade psychologist that actually listened to me. Black woman.
Okay.
And I kept giving her the strong face. And she was like, no, Taunya, I got it. You're in this job. You want to do it. You want to make lieutenant colonel. You're not. You are good when you go out there and you make it happen. But I had a safe place that when I went in to see her, I could be unmasked, me. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm on a no-run profile. I'm a runner. Running clears my mind. My knees were hurting. On active duty, not knowing that within 4 months of retiring, I have 2 knee replacements. But people were telling me I was okay.
Right.
I wasn't. And then she recommends that I go into the WTU so that I can get supportive mental health, focused, total mind, body, great organization, great staff, great purpose. I'm blessed that was an availability.
And can you just tell us what WTO is for those that may not know?
The WTU was the Wounded Warriors Transition Unit.
Okay.
So you're either going to be transitioned out or transitioned back.
Okay.
I went to be transitioned back.
Hey there, Sheroes. We're cooking up something special for you, just as promised. To all who are attending the Women's Veteran Engage Conference in Las Vegas, get ready for a night of healing and empowerment like no other. Introducing Heal and Flow, a night of movement, an exclusive bonus event sponsored by Veteran Social Club. Join us at the Craft Motions on Friday, April 26th for an exhilarating evening of therapeutic movement. Release stress, build confidence, and connect with fellow veterans in a welcoming and supportive environment. Whether you're new to these activities or a seasoned pro, there's something for everyone at Heal and Flow. Register now for the Women's Veteran Engage Conference and secure your spot at Heal and Flow, a night of movement with She Serves Sheroes, sponsored by Veterans Social Club.
I went so that I could get help without worrying about mission, because what many Black women do is we take care of the mission. We put on the face. I have a mask. I'm hurting. I ain't been to sleep. I'm showing up to take care of my soldier. I'm showing up to take care of my boss. I'm showing up, but I'm hurting. And in therapy with the Black woman that finally heard me, she made it possible for me to transition to go to handle me, for me to be my mission. In the mission, I want to take care of wounded warriors because I feel like you don't see what I'm going on with me. I mean, I'm even a registered Wounded Warrior Program alumni. That's not something proud, but I love that Wounded Warrior Project was there because it took care of me when I was injured in Afghanistan. But I wasn't trying to be that girl because you don't see I'm not missing a limb. I'm not burnt, but I'm hurting. When I go to formation and stand in formation, I go home and have an allergic reaction because I've been in the sun, not knowing I had lupus.
Yeah.
But because she heard me and it was there, and I would not have taken care of myself. I was taking care of mission, even with mentors in my life that would say a statement. So Taunya, so Major Ford, how many generations do you take care of? I asked my mentor, I was like, huh? I said, you need to take care of you because you take care of generations of people. And so I did not want to back down from the mission. I did not want to back down from my soldiers. I didn't want to back down from the Army. And so transitioning into the Wounded Warriors Transition Unit to fix me was one of the life-saving best things of my life. But I had a new therapist and she didn't hear anything I was saying to her. And so I utilized resources called ombudsman and failure to establish a client-patient relationship because I would, after my appointments, read my medical notes. Anybody that goes to the doctor, after you leave the doctor, 2-3 days later, go read what that doctor wrote. She didn't see me. She heard me. She says, but she showed up. I show up to an appointment like this. Why? Because I passed soldiers in order to get to that appointment. And when I walk out, I need to make sure Private Smith feels that I'm approachable and not avoidable. So that if they need somebody like I need somebody, they're okay. The only time I'm safe is behind the doors with a professional.
Right.
But they didn't hear me. And so after prayer, after reflection, after 1 year in the WTU, the doctor's like, you're ready to go back to work. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to not go to work. No, I'm not. I would kill somebody, not murder. But because I don't know what's wrong with me, and I was in a supportive group, peer mentor group and anger management and things. And my group leader and therapist was fabulous. Shout out to another strong Black woman. Thank you. And when I walked in her office, I was like, I'm okay. She said, no, you're not. Sit down and be real. No, leave out my office, come back in, and don't bring me Major Ford. I'm going to, she always respects me. When she called me to the stage, she's like, Major Ford. She's like, leave Major Ford outside. Come back in. And when I went back in, I said, I quit. I was at 20 years.
Okay.
After being in for a year at the Wounded Warrior Transition Unit, we had not figured out anything about me.
Okay. So
how do I go be a battalion commander and take care of soldiers, which was going to be my next level of jobs? And I looked in the mirror and said, I hurt, I swell, I can't walk. I'm a runner. I used to run to clear my mind. I didn't cry. I was like, why cry? I can run. Because, when I'm running, I'm going to cry. But so that started my process on a medical board to get out due to chronic depression and PTSD. And then we still ain't found out why I'm having allergic reactions. So someone that followed me on Facebook, I love you till this day, worked in dermatology and followed me from following a friend, and then we became Facebook friends.
Okay.
And she had told me to stop in because she was concerned. Got to a dermatologist at a higher level without a referral from my doctor because my doctor didn't give me one. And that's when they put me in a suntan booth unit that people go in or harden their skin or suntan.
Right.
And I was in for 35 seconds, had a panic attack, 35 seconds at the lowest UV rate. And 3 hours later, I was hospitalized because I was fried like you dipped me in grease.
Oh my goodness.
So go back to that dermatologist. I say, oh, we're going to harden your skin. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. And I say, so lift my skirt up. See, this is nothing wrong with me. Do you see my face? Do you see I'm fried? Oh my God, yeah. you must have lupus. We need to do a punch biopsy. Come
And it's
back
the
next
first
week.
time anyone has even suggested, or let's test this, let's figure it out. This is the first time after you're fried.
After I'm fried in their face. But I've had many allergic reactions where I
Right.
show up, but nobody listened. So a woman that was a friend of a friend on social media, an angel and a hospital employee, she reached out to her boss, and that same day they did a punch biopsy. And the results came back that I had lupus. And so even if I would have been great finance after the mental health thing, which I used to make a joke that I had medical PTSD, because every time I went to the doctor, no one's listening to me. Hear me. I'm gonna get your mission done. But hear me when I show up and say, I don't sleep, I hurt, my knees hurt. But I also did help, because when a soldier needs to help pass a PT test, I would run with them. And my medical soldier is like, ma'am, you're breaking your profile, stop it. No, they need inspiration, they need someone. And then retirement, I have 2 knee replacements. So I was hurting, and it took outside communities to hear me. And upon retirement, which many people celebrate, I did. And then I went into a dark world, because like, you know what I did to get here? You know, I mean, people be like, oh no, I've turned down love relationships when someone's like, let me take care of you. You don't got to do this. Follow me around the world. No, boo. We could be dual military, but no. So when it was taken away from me, I was lost, because I wasn't ready. I on my 5-year plan, I was ready.
Okay.
My nephew's going to graduate from high school. I only, to myself, I enlisted to be and provide for my nephew, who ended up being my son that I adopted. But it was to be a role model, to take care of him, to give him the world. He graduated. So retirement, medical retirement, medical issues, and empty nest syndrome. Empty nest syndrome is real.
Right.
When everything and reason why you go and you're taking care of people, now they're gone. What do I do? Now, I don't have my soldiers. I don't have the relationships I said no to. I don't have the friendships of my active duty involvement. My world, my purpose is gone. And what do I do? So, group. Okay. I did peer therapy, peer to peer. I stayed in Killeen, Texas, sold my home in Houston, and I continued to try to get better emotionally. And I'm recovering from 2 knee surgeries, learning I'm epileptic, learning I have lupus. And I'm just like, and losing everything on my plate.
Yeah, so, that's a lot to take in all at once.
Yeah, while hiding that I'm losing my hair.
Okay,
and
right.
Not knowing what to do, and having a breakdown in my psychologist's office at the VA, which I was blessed to get a Black woman. Marine veteran, also an MST survivor. Just therapy didn't feel like therapy. It was growth. She gave me homework, but it was keeping me alive, right? And I broke down, and between her and my doctor and me just taking a wig off and saying, my head hurts, I'm doing this, I don't know what's going on, my face swells up. She's like, you do know, with medical hair loss, the VA you can get a prescription for a wig.
So your therapist is who first introduced that concept to you?
First time.
First time, okay.
It is through the VA, so now it's not active duty program, right?
Right.
But I'm sitting here and I'm laughing and I'm crying, and my therapist, fabulous Black woman, she said, all this time I know you were wearing a wig. Like, compliment, thank you. Yeah. And so we talked about my story with wigs, right? About 14 years ago, I had a hysterectomy gone bad. Now we know that it's because I had lupus and they used UV things on me and cut me and it's bleeding. But a doctor wouldn't listen to me. So I'm in the emergency room hemorrhaging, not knowing to me, and my mom's with me, and I rip off a $2,000 wig off my head. Rip it, bleeding everywhere. My mom did not know what was going on underneath. She's like, well, now they should believe you're in pain, because what black woman rips their hair off? I scared the nurse. She was like, ah! I threw the wig across the room, had a bandana on it. My mom's putting it on my head. And she's like, oh my God. Yeah, I said, I think I just used the bathroom on myself. She's like, well, you're in the emergency room where they can clean it up. But when they went to go look, it was blood, and I went into shock. And they say, call infectious disease control. I'm in and out of it. I'm in pain. And I'm like, who they calling infectious disease control on? You know, I don't, Mom, what's going on? Baby, not you, not you. It's okay. It was for me. And so I was discussing that in therapy. And she's just like, a black woman. She's, first, I didn't know you had on a wig. I know you come here with different hairstyles. But yeah, it's like I've been hiding. And then to learn about a program where if you have diagnosed medical hair loss, not that I go and ask for permission, if you have diagnosed medical hair loss, alopecia, many people don't know that's diagnosed medical hair loss, but I don't have diagnosed medical hair loss. I got alopecia. But with lupus, cancer, diagnosed medical hair loss, you can get a prescription wig. I'm like, what? But it
now,
was
at this point, were you already making wigs yourself, though?
Or no. Just,
no.
So, okay. In that season, I was doing quick weaves. What? Not making for others. I was making them for myself, not sharing. But I was making them out of, I'm broke. I don't know what to do. It's therapeutic. Different. But I wasn't sharing it with the world.
Right.
I'm still hiding. I'm still like, I get a wig off Amazon or from a store and it don't fit right. So I take off the frontal and remake it and put it on so that it fit me, because when I put it on, it looked like a football helmet. So I was adjusting because it was needed in my budget.
Right. Okay.
And I had to open up and like share that moment in therapy in a safe place. We laughed, I cried. I was just like, I have to find a reason to live. And when you go to therapy, they consistently ask you the levels. What are you today? 1 through 5. And she was like, I'm concerned. Do we need to put you in an intensive inpatient? No, I ain't got nobody in my house. I'm good. This helps, and group helps. So when I would stop, it would be a drastic difference in my feeling. So learning about the program, I searched to attend to find somebody that was private and personal.
Okay.
And I did, and it worked for a long time. But then I had experiences where I went to stores and people walked in on me, wig stores, beauty supply stores, when I had an appointment. And at the time, I'm involved in the community. I ain't open this. This ain't nobody else's business.
Right.
And so it took me to a dark place, remembering ripping wigs off, not a pleasure, into a, oh my God, someone seeing me, and this is supposed to be intimate, personal, and private. I loved, I sat in front of my therapist. I was another Black woman. She's like, girl, I'm telling you, I did not know you were wearing wigs, or that you were wearing wigs for what you have going on through the lupus. And, some people, because I grew up wigs, microblades, quick weaves, natural hair, low cuts, Anita Baker. I did it all. But now with lupus, I didn't have that choice. But I spent thousands of dollars a year with topical solutions. People say, grow your edges back, girl, to use this cream. Not knowing that if you have an autoimmune disease, topicals don't work. Some topicals I'm actually allergic to. So it's a
Mm.
concoction that worked for Tamika and Shaniqua. But when I put it on, then my head burns and my skin peels off. And now I'm hiding where I can't go anywhere because I've just burnt my scalp. And so the journey took me to dark places a lot of time. And just one time in prayer, instead of doing what I was going to do, and I asked God to revive me, give me purpose again, and to revive my beauty, because all I could see is it's like I'm a successful failure. I had a struggle. It took sometimes here, it took this, but now what do I have? I don't have anything. I adore taking care of soldiers. I adore helping families. I adore meeting someone and saying, hey, have you ever thought about being an officer? Ma'am, I have a degree, yes, but I don't know how. Bet. we on a program. The next year, this is what we do. And so I didn't have that. And asking to have my beauty revived and to make purpose of my pain.
Yes.
Because me and God have a lot of talks. And sometimes I'm like, you thinking way too highly of me, Lord. God, come on. What, really? But in asking him to give me purpose in my pain and learning about this program and having been embarrassed, bullied, not respected in wig stores or beauty shops, I decided to give women with medical hair loss a safe place, personal and private, that they can do from the comfort of their home, with a Zoom call, a Facebook call, a qualification, me sending them a measurement tape, and them deciding, okay, I want body wave. I want this. I want it to be bald, but I want 24 inches.
Right.
And so these are just samples of hair, but there's no price tags on them. Because so what happens for me, my feeling is when you walk into somewhere and you say, oh, I want $2,000 one. I want the $3,000 one. No, they ain't got to worry about a price because they're the patient and the insurance company is my client. So you need not worry about a price. Yes, government and everybody has prices, right? But when they come in these doors, they're not worrying about a price. They're worrying about a build. Building mean they select kinky wave, water wave, kinky straight. This is my sister girl wig. Kinky straight, and what length they want to do. And I'll joke with them. I'm like, girl, you can take 24 to 12 and 10, but you can't take 10 to 24. So tell me what you want, because you can get it, you can put it on. And then what I would do is go to Walmart, the Walmart salon, met a fabulous woman there, and let them cut me and size me. Be like, hey, come in. This a wig. Do you know how to cut hair, or do you know how to cut hair? Because I want layers, not stacks, or what I want. And she's like, that's a wig? Yes, ma'am. And she actually launched me making donations. I make one donation a month to a woman with medical hair loss. And what happened is, sitting in that chair that first time when I was comfortable enough to put the wig on and go sit in her chair, she told me that her mom had lupus. And I understand the feeling in the story. And I was like, can I make her a wig? This is a hairstyle. I'm sure she got all the skills. Like, yeah, I'm not perfect. But let me gift her a wig. She said she would love exactly what you have on. And so meeting her, shout out, you know who you are, and learning that her mom also had lupus, it felt personal to me and private. And I wanted her to feel comfortable of donning her wig in private, being measured for her wig in private. And if she wanted to go to a salon, be able to go sit in a chair and have her daughter cut it or whatever. And then I did donations one a month since 2019. but I didn't start the official launch of my business until last April. Because
so we prayed to God, you asked for him to revive your beauty. But when you initially started your business, it was donation based, meeting the needs of other women.
It was strictly donation based. My nonprofit is called Revived Beauty, which I'm hoping to grow that to eons in the future. But it gave me purpose, because like I would be out when I'm on a cruise or something, someone compliment me on my hair, I'd be like, it's a wig. like, girl, no. Or where you get it from? I'll take care of you. And like, huh? Can I get your address? You know, whether I met them on a cruise or in the grocery store, because sometimes that compliment would change the trajectory of my day. Someone's like, hey, I love your hair. I'm a compliment giver. But I feel like there's not many times I receive it, and I'm okay. But I'm also one that when I see you and I say, hey, how are you doing? It's not a walk by question. It is not an open-ended. I mean, it's an open-ended, not a closed-ended. I want an answer.
Right.
And so that launched, it became so therapeutic for me. And I'll be with someone and be like, I want to bless them. Because now I got a purpose. And I want them to be like, to feel revived. Not that they're not beautiful, they're already beautiful. And we get to define our beauty, but in a world where society equates beauty to hair or natural or being bald, and there's communities, I don't knock the community. Sometimes those communities can ostracize and be really mean to other ones. You know, when someone's like, oh, I don't want a woman with a wig. It didn't start like that. What happens when your wife or your girlfriend is diagnosed with lupus next week or cancer? You've given her an internal insecurity already.
Right.
But I don't knock preference, right? I'm not saying you can't want a guy 6 foot tall, 6'6", all that stuff. But being mindful of the community. And so I've had associates, I've had friends, I've had potential dating that have said some things that just crushed me. I smile in there, but it crushed me that you're not going to like me because you don't do women with fake hair. So then my joke was like, this human. It's not synthetic, so what? What's up?
Right. So 2019, is that when you got into the VA?
So
as being a service provider?
That question hurts. So I started to apply in 2019 to get into the VA. And nothing hurts more than when you are qualified to be somewhere and you've done all of the requirements to be a vendor with the Department of Veteran Affairs or with an insurance company, but there's somebody that's holding the door that you don't have the qualifications to even have the key. So that's when it started. And in order to be in a VA, you have to apply to each individual VA individually. I'm not knocking it. I love, give me a policy. I'm a major. Give me a policy with expectations and guidelines that are the same across the board. This journey has not been the same across the board. And when I meet someone, if they're in a VA, I find out what VA they attend, then I contact that VA, the department that VA says to contact.
Right.
And I have had places that I applied to last April that I'm still not in that sent my clients elsewhere.
Oh.
Then I have had places amazing like Houston and Shreveport and Mississippi that when I have a veteran and I send the name and they tell their doctor, hey, doctor, I want to use Revived Beauty. Because a lot of VAs have qualified wig location.
Right.
But if you qualify, I'm supposed to be allowed to sit at the table because I'm qualified. But I've been hit with locations that when I call them about sending my vendor form and my capability statement, they make statements like, oh, we have a wig store where you work with. I don't care if you have 20.
Right.
But they don't move your product. And then I've dealt with people that I submitted. It's a good conversation on the phone. I fax in my requirements. And then when I go and I'm there in a city that you are in to go check on it, they have done nothing with it. And the Women's Center and the Cancer Center and the different people that could use me have not been notified of me. But you're supposed to submit it because I'm qualified to do business with the government. So it's not a policy followed the same at every VA.
Right.
And I don't harp on that because personal error, right? But what has been my discouragement, the discouraging factor is that individuals that control and give new policies as not a written policy that require inspections of my shop when inspections of I call it the private suite place. It's not required. It's not required. What's required is that I'm in SAMS. What's required is that I have a DUNS number. What's required is I have a cranial prosthesis. I'm a cranial prosthesis specialist. I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm not a doctor. I provide durable medical equipment. There's not a distance on durable medical equipment, but there are some VAs I've come across. No, you can't see the patient. You're outside of 50 miles. So is some Tylenol. So are wheelchairs. Durable medical equipment by regulation, by policy, doesn't have a distance. And then you have to articulate what you know that they don't even know.
Right.
And so it's been a journey. It's worth the fight. I attended the Military Influencers Conference last year, right? Because I, at a point in my life, that I'm fighting, I don't know what to do. I need some inspiration. And you follow things. And that weekend, seeing different people, not knowing I was sitting next to you.
Right.
It was reaffirming to stay the route. My best friend, who's also a UNLV graduate that I come back and forth to Vegas, one of the best women I've ever come across, an amazing woman. Many times she said, Taunya, keep the fight. I don't know what we need to do, but we got you. And it's because I put myself in circles of women like her, from the Empowered Sisters Network to Veterans Growing America. I mean, putting myself in communities where people are entrepreneurs, but they're providing resources. And in their resources, you're being mentored, you're being coached, or you're being guided and challenged and checked upon. And so when I wanted to give up, I went out looking for purpose, right? And so going to that conference and seeing, oh, well, how would I do this next year? I'm an Army major, I recon. I'm not going to try to do something before. I don't like to show up the first time. That's the first time. I'm going to go check the room. I'm going to check the exit because of paranoia. And when I went to go check that, I was influenced. I was inspired. I felt home again. I'm like, I'm not just watching life pass me by. I decided to be vulnerable. I decided that Revived Beauty is the mission, that somebody that is, quote unquote, people say suffering with alopecia. Words are powerful. We're not suffering. We're surviving with it daily. We're surviving with lupus. You're surviving with cancer. You're surviving with being an MST survivor. And so I was able to reorder my steps. I was in a community of inspiration where veterans are just the camaraderie, the connection. And I was like, I've arrived.
what you were talking about, you know, we know that the VA is light years behind on medical care for women specifically. And what and exactly. And like you said, you know, you are a vendor that supplies medical equipment. So, you know, I think it's very important that we do continue to talk about it, spread, and just bring awareness. You know, I talk about a story of when I had a miscarriage and I had a fetus in me because I'm waiting for a VA referral and my primary care is on vacation. So, just the way that we are handled with our medical processes, you know, it's like we need to amplify one that there are wigs that can be medically prescribed.
No cost. No cost to the $0. $0. I think that's priceless. And then I'm in so many wig groups, right? And women, oh, I got 2,000. I want to sell this one for 1,900. I just watch, and I'm sitting here like, I wonder how many are veterans. I wonder how many. I interacted with a beautiful woman that has, she has 6 kids. And I was like, hey, would you like to do it FaceTime or Zoom or virtual? Now, she can come into me, but she's like, you offer me, I can like sit here, talk to you, comfort in my home. I don't have to. But then she's like saying, that's like, I can help you from anywhere. Like, where would you like? She's crying. She tells me her story. I have not had one person that I've either helped from Memphis, and so that it wasn't a personal, intimate story. Then I've had people that I give them what they need. I send you the measurement tape. We ain't even got to, you never have to see somebody. It's personal, it's private, and it's your prescription. So all they have to do is say, I want Revived Beauty. If I'm currently not in that VA, I send them my qualifications to be in that VA. But you have some VAs, well, instead of processing my form, they send you out to somebody that's already been on your list, or they deny and don't accept my facts, or they deny me based on what their concerns and questions are. Not that I'm violating a policy or procedure, but because they hold a key. And, oh, well, we usually send patients here. She asked for Revived Beauty. If they ask for Tylenol, you let them get Tylenol, whether they pick it up from Walgreens, CVS, or the VA.
Right.
So I am qualified to be Tylenol. And if they don't want to go into a store, I commend individuals that are supporting this, right? Because they went through the qualifications to be here. But just because you have one or you have 5, I don't care if you have 200, I qualify to take care of that person that don't even want to go tell their story or share anything with someone else, but they want to use Revive Beauty. Right. So it's worth I'm back in my boots. You know,
yes, you are.
It's worth the fight, because I would do this for a soldier. I would do this for any veteran. And so for my pain, that almost cost me my life, for my pain to have purpose, for me to know that you ain't even got to look at me, see me. You send me your recommendations and fill out the paperwork I send you in my app, and you make it happen. And you can go through the process. We don't have to drive anywhere. With having lupus and being epileptic, there's times I notice that when depression is high, I have more flare-ups, I have more seizures. I love my medication. I don't know where it comes from, but because I qualify for that medication, it comes to me in the mail when I need it. Yeah. When I need more, I say this isn't working. They increase or they lower it. You're not telling me where I can't go to get my Zoloft. It come in a prescription. Right. And we then go and we continue to do great things. So if I can help someone save their time, if I can help someone keep their privacy, it takes something when you walk into a store and you don't feel a part of it, when you don't have the privacy to be what you're going through, and you have to become vulnerable to somebody that don't understand, that probably don't even care. And I don't knock it, because when I see something online that I like, I'll be like, oh girl, I'm ordering that. Or, oh, do I want to carry that? Where do I go? How do I get that? What do I need to do? What look are you trying to have? But they don't have to go out and put that into somebody else's hands, right? Because, and I'm not saying other people don't have stories, not saying that. I'm saying that when you're qualified to provide, you shouldn't be prevented because someone unqualified holds the key. And so whether the young lady is in Japan, Africa, where I ship, it's free. It's not charged. And they get to say, oh, this is my private, personal prescription for me, life, without worrying about other stuff. Everybody's not ready to share their story. I did a TikTok the other day that I said I would never do. I was not going to show this, but in supporting a young lady that's my sorority sister, and she is her story. She'll be a general. She's going places. I said, how dare I not have the confidence at this time? They may not come back again, but different people that see me, that think I got it all together all the time, may need to see the side that they don't know happen. Because when we think of lupus, they're like, oh my God, do you have lupus? Yeah, lupus kills. Cancer kills. Stuff hurts. But I'm like, it don't have me, I have it.
Yes.
But what does PTSD look like? Pretty. But it's a real struggle. What does depression look like? It's a real struggle. And what does being epileptic look like? Most people are like, oh my gosh, she's gonna swallow her tongue. I'm like, it's not physically possible. Do you know epilepsy CPR? Are you aware? Do you know your friends? Or do you know your associates? Or are you scared of, or are you going to disassociate with them because you find out they have something? I have had individuals I'm sorry, I had to deny that. I have had individuals ostracize me because it may not look good on them because I have lupus. I might be a risk. To who? I got insurance. You really? Do you? But it wasn't my loss. It was you couldn't handle all of this. You couldn't handle it. And now that I am revived,
yes,
I'm not saying I don't have low moments, but in my low moments with the circle I've grown over the last 10, 15 years and the new support circle, I am then empowered. Yes. And I am influencing them and they're watering me. And you don't have to always have it together. Some days when you just say, I don't have it together today, somebody can pour into you and help revive you where you, thank you. I can see me now. Before I was hurting because of rejection and having to retire, rejection of being overlooked by men that I desired, that didn't desire me, that chose somebody else. I was seeing all that, Now I walk past her and I feel like, you messed around and she saw herself. You messed around and she believed she could.
Yes.
So she did. You messed around and Taunya became Major Ford again.
Yes.
And the caterpillar became the butterfly and the butterfly became a lioness. But I'm a butterfly. I look in the mirror and be like, it's my lupus butterfly, put makeup on me, hide it today. And sometimes I'm like, I'm not hiding it today. Because I'm gonna walk past a woman that knows what I'm going through. And she's like, excuse me, do you have lupus? Yes. I'm sorry, lupus. I have lupus. Lupus don't have me. I'm a survivor. So, oh, how do you survive? Girl, with support and God. But it may be someone that did not know how to reach out, or they going through what I went through in the first 4 years of retirement, where they weren't influential. I've told you this, and I tell you again in the world, your podcast, girl, thank you guys for what you're doing, because I have been able to relate to people, two in particular. I think she was a photographer, and she referred to resulting to the training you have had to get through this entrepreneurial journey. And sometimes life, we got to put that back on, right? And we don't know what we're doing like this. We got to don on that uniform. And like, I've been a deputy chief of operations in Afghanistan. I've been a brigade SAR. I've been. And so why am I letting this little piece? When I put that hat on, it's on and popping. And Tanya's in the back. I'm defending Taunya. And it took that. And then being in groups where they're empowering and it's sisterhood. And you show up and you can't play today, and someone, Coach Marsha, and someone's like, no, you need to get this together, Major Ford. Come on. What? Coming from a supportive individual that don't even do what you do?
Right.
Where it's safe and it's not threatening and it's empowering and it's a circle of beautiful women, or, logging on my Tuesday nights, veterans going to America. I don't even live there, but I have made trips to be a part of what they do. And I get to have that family, and I've attended cohorts because they've provided it.
Okay.
Empower me about talking about my business.
Yeah.
I can talk about Revived Beauty. Someone said, what you do? I'd be like, shh. Now I'm like, let me tell you about what I do and what I can do for you and save you some money and help you get a prescription. I fight for you. I will fight the VA.
Yeah.
Like, what? I didn't have that before going out to find these circles, listening to women's stories, putting myself in circles. I had amazing friends. My friend circle, I call them upgrade friends, and I'm trying to be an upgrade.
Yeah. But
they support me in this stuff. They're like, yeah. And we look and say, girl, you see this? You heard about she served Sheroes. You can see the story yesterday. And it is a wow, because it gives you back the veteran lifestyle. It gives you back that this is a mission. You can have more than one at one time. Because sometimes you are the expertise and all I am is a supporting cast member. But when you're apart, when you are celebrated, when you are challenged, it's reviving. It is beautiful, because you get to be everything you ever wanted to be, and see that there's going to be a red light, it's going to be a yellow light, but there's also going to be green lights. It's just say and wait the light and your season. And in my Revived Beauty season, I welcome red light, green light, purple light, green light. Bring me the light.
Yes.
Because I'm revived, I'm empowered. And the days when I don't have it, I have communities where I can call and say, I ain't got it today. And someone coach you through, yeah, you do, you're a veteran. Yeah, you do. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I need to just put her on retainer. But, when you have individuals that come up like that, and that you're not even the quote unquote the expertise, like what they're working, but what they do works and they can work it on you.
Right.
And so it's enlightening to feel part of a team again.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling thrown away. And I think that's what I felt when I had to retire because of the illness. when I had to retire because I was like, y'all don't hear me, you don't see me. But the ability to, the choice program, the VA got something right in the choice program. When I can look and I can put out specifics that I would like a Black female therapist. I've had great white men. I mean, I thought when I went in there, I was like, look, I don't even want to be here. This is why. How do you relate? He was actually one of my best therapists. But the ability that I can know or hope that someone sees me, like my therapist did at the VA that heard me, that was like, there is this program. You do know you can get a prescription. No, I was angry at first because the doctor, you know, I have medical hair loss. You know this. Why I had this whole breakdown, drag out, snot, and for you to be like, hey, but then I accept it, right? Because some people take advantage of things that are meant for individuals that need it. And so I accepted that because maybe she was like, I don't want you. But then the hard part is when you look at someone else that don't look like you and they have no fight and no trouble with getting it. Oh yeah, my doctor told me.
Right.
We have the same doctor. You know, so it's like what in a while, but you can't stay there. And so how I didn't stay there was by creating Revived Beauty, by giving women education on the prescription, because hair can deal with your mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
It plays a large role on you feeling safe. Yes. And I believe in privacy. Some people don't want someone to know that they are surviving, not suffering, with medical hair loss, because it's a struggle and a fight. But when you can relate to someone, PT was hard. When I had on wigs and I'm trying to hide stuff that the doctors were ignoring, you know, getting out, not understanding this, they're spending thousands of dollars a year to try to feel beautiful. I feel beautiful. Sometimes you don't feel pretty. Sometimes you don't feel beautiful. And it plays with it does play a part with our hair, with our being. So if I can give someone that comfort back while keeping it personal and private, then I have done the job that God has put me on, because then we deal with medical fights differently.
Right.
It is a different game, but people equate that to, oh, you got to first love yourself. When you have an insecure moment or you're sad or you don't feel beautiful, even though someone's telling you how pretty you are or you're beautiful and they want you, that's personal. It's self-esteem. It contributes some outside factor, but me not feeling pretty today don't mean I don't love myself.
Right. But
someone that don't have that fight that someone does will not understand the equate to the difference. So
right.
I'm revived.
Yes.
I'm empowered. I am in great circles because strong women need strong women. And
absolutely.
Iron sharpens iron. But in the strong woman category, sometimes you are too scared to call the strong woman that you know is being like you being a strong woman, because you don't want to feel like a burden. Because that's what you do. You see them do it too.
Right.
But they continue. Strong women, I salute all of you. It's not easy to always have to be strong, but it can be done when you are watered and empowered in your community and you're educated and you're not always fighting.
Right. And, you know, we want to thank you, Taunya, publicly as well for your support to the She Serves Sheroes community. We really, really appreciate you. We are inspired by the work you're doing. And, you know, our purpose here is to amplify the stories of minority women veterans. I mean, it's bigger than just we have a different experiences all the way to healthcare, how we are treated with our healthcare, how we get our prescriptions for hair loss. So we really want to amplify our stories, amplify our businesses so that we can get into all of the VAs that we need to be in. So we're behind you. We support you. We're thankful for your support. And before we wrap, I just want to ask, is there anything else, one, you want to share? And two, if you could just remind the entire community how to contact you directly.
In closing, what I would like to share, the environment that you provide is needed, it is appreciated, and I would hope that more women feel empowered as I do by it. And I publicly thank the strong women that has to fight every day. And I ask them to not stop fighting. We might have to be revived by different means, but don't stop fighting. Suicide, ideation, suicide is real. I've knocked on the door and had days when I didn't want to be here. But every person matters. We're needed. Somebody needs you. And so, don't give up. And the day you don't feel like you got it, inbox me, call me. How do you get in touch with Revived Beauty? If you know a veteran with diagnosed medical hair loss, or if you are that veteran, you can reach out to me on Revived Beauty prescription wigs, and go to the contact tab and schedule a virtual or just request more information. They can reach out to me on Facebook, whether it's on my personal page. This is a personal situation for me. Being from Colorado Springs, I give a shout out to CU Boulder. I'm a Coach Prime fan. And one of his sayings I stand with is, this is personal. This is personal. This is my purpose. And so if I can empower a woman of how to get a custom fit wig over a off-the-shelf retail, walk into the store, have to pick one out wig, I am here to empower them. Whether it is for them to see me, yes, come to Revive Beauty, choose Revive Beauty. I'll walk you through it. But even if they go see someone else, because it is a service that is provided by the VA, and we're not equally accepting the benefits. I won't say taking advantage, accepted the benefits that we have earned. The benefit that we do not have to fight if you have a diagnosed medical hair loss and they say you need to go to the dermatologist and get this. Your primary care doctor can write you the prescription. Your dermatologist can write you the prescription. Your mental health provider can write your referral and provide you getting the prescription. So if you have the diagnosis, they'll get your prescription. If you need a diagnosis, that's when they go through the process of getting it documented. And please, ladies and gentlemen, don't normalize or blow off alopecia. Alopecia is a diagnosed medical hair loss. It is as serious as hair loss from lupus or from cancer. And when you are revived with a new look that I can help you with, custom fit, it creates a new revived energy. They're already beautiful, but it is something about being empowered with the prescription in private that helps you be pretty without coming out of your pocket. So revivebeautyprescriptionwigs.com is most of my tags on Instagram, my webpage, Facebook, or call me. I will make time to take care of you. And I'm here to educate and empower so that we're not questioning, oh my God, I got hair loss. Yeah, I have hair loss. And you don't have to walk into a wig store where you are just a number and pulling something off not knocking. That's not a ding.
Right.
But if you don't want to do that, and you want to be private, and you want it to be as private as your medication is for your blood pressure, or your depression. It can be that private. And that is why I do this, because I want someone to be empowered.
Yes. Well, we thank you, Taunya Ford. We will see you in the community. We will continue to follow you. We will continue to support you. Yes. So we just want to thank you for being in the house today. And we are so glad for the work that Revived Beauty is doing. And we can't to see you live and in person again soon. And we just thank you and love you so much. So thank you, sis.
I'm excited about the event you're hosting in April.
Yes, we're excited about that as well. And more to come about that. But we'll definitely be in communication with you. We know that you are our neighbor in Texas, but we know Las Vegas is your backyard.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Moving soon.
Awesome. We will
Thank
see
you for
soon.
what you do. You guys have a blessed day. And please keep doing what you're doing. Your life.
Thank you. And you too. All right.
I'm in for this fight.
Yes, we're in it together. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.